Previously on the Hot and Cold podcast.
Think about like a little shrunken leopard.
You know, Cole once gave me $20 for doing the cinnamon challenge.
Back out of pretty much I say this all the time. I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, why not?
Are we ready to talk about cricket?
Can we get some tacos?
3, 2, 1, Joey Peeps.
What's up, man?
Hey, buddy. Thanks for doing this. What? You don't get the Joey Peeps reference, do you?
I don't.
I love it every time.
I'm too young.
Every time I say it, it's not a young thing. I don't think. Sopranos was one of the greatest television shows made. It was about a gangster who had mental issues and saw a therapist. Anyway, the rival guy to Tony Soprano's brother died. His name was Joey. And they called him Joey Peeps. It was just a northern mob term, and I don't even know what it came from. But
I think that fits my personality.
Sure,
you
man.
can see that?
Yeah, northern mobster. Hey, man, I wanted to follow up with that. I introduced you to my old man, and it's kind of, I think it's relevant to what you and I talk about a lot. He worked at UPS through college, and then to make more money, which maybe it's a more of a raise than more money specifically, but he went to Roadway, which is a trucking company. I think Roadway still exists.
I have no idea.
So I preface all that to say, like, you sometimes flatter me with your curiosity in my real estate and the things I've done, and it, of course, that's why I like talking to you about it, because you actually care. Sometimes it's boring to people, but a lot of that comes from him. It got to a point in his life where he wanted to be in business for himself, make his own decisions. When you do that, you get paid for what you do, basically, if that makes sense. But the harder you work, the more money you make. The less you work, less money you make, type deal.
Yeah, for sure.
But a lot of that was instilled in me, and my real estate approach came from him. You talk about this on your Instagram, the Rat Race.
Yes.
There's a board game called the Rat Race.
Was that by Robert Kiyosaki?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've
Yes.
read, what was it? One of the most popular books.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah, Rich
Yeah,
Dad,
I'm
Poor
about
Dad.
halfway through that.
It's amazing, right?
I'm surprised I never saw it before or read it before. The good thing is a lot of those were taught. A lot of those same ideas were taught to me, so I kind of get it. But it's still a good read. Mm-hmm. It's simple, man. I mean, it's not that simple. I got a guy right now wanting to make my producer / intern who doesn't do it anymore, but I still keep in talk with him. Axel, he's editing videos for me.
Very cool.
He edited one 1-minute video on insurance. He says, he gives it to me. I said, man, that's pretty good. I got a few notes. We could probably mix it up, because he did it completely, no input from me. And I said, well, how much will you charge me to do 100 of those? Because I want to put those on my website. It makes my website relevant. Google says, hey, people, here's naturally. He says $100 a video. I said, oh, shoot, man. I said, let me call you. I hadn't called him yet. But what I want to teach him is, okay, I'll give you $100. Now, you use my laptop. That's $20 each time. I use my recording equipment. There's $10, and you use my software that I pay for. So there's okay, I'll give you $100 for it, but you got to pay for all the stuff you use.
Yeah.
I may give him the $100 for each video. I'm trying to figure that out, but I also need to teach him a lesson in what he's doing to make those videos. Mm-hmm. Okay, I went off track. Dad, my old man, was at Roadway, supervisor, 3 kids, mortgage. We're just low income. I'm sorry, middle average, lower average, whatever. We're not
Lower middle class.
Lower middle class. Class is what I was thinking of. Thank you. And he gets fired.
Wow.
So I'm in 2nd grade. Come home. Dad's putting together the puzzle that we always worked on. By the way, little small thing there. He had us working on puzzles as little kids all the time. And he said he quit. He told us he quit. So he went back to law school. So not only he gets fired, 3 kids and a mortgage, he's in school, not making any money. He
For
started loading
loans.
trucks again.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, through his law school, because luckily he had got his degree, so he didn't have to go to get a degree and then get a law school. He became a lawyer, and now we're grown by then, and so we're not kids with money. We came up lower middle class, and then as adults, he's done well. If you called him rich, he'd be offended. You know what I
Gotcha,
mean?
yeah,
But
for
he's
sure.
done well over the years. And being in business for yourself, you're not capped at how much money you can make. And so, anyway, I thought you might see that venture. I mean, you have these ideas of real estate and being successful and training yourself to be better, but you're loading trucks at UPS. Like, some people can see that as like, loading trucks at UPS, you should be a upper management in some corporation, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a trail, it's a journey.
For sure. I think this job for me is more of a stepping stone right now. I mean, everyone could see with the virus that a typical 9-to-5 is not stable. It's not a guaranteed form of income. And I'm aware of that. And I'm trying to just create as many streams of passive income as I can. And I think that, I'm fascinated with real estate. I think that it's a really good market to get into. I mean, the demand for real estate is never going to just go completely, it's not going to shoot down. But yeah, I think
it takes a lot for a significant decline.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, this was COVID-19 was worldwide, kicked our butts, but you got to have like plague where a third of the population
Right.
is dead.
Yeah.
I mean, literally in Texas. That's what I was going to say a while ago. So I started just the first chance I had. I didn't care about the market. The market didn't make a difference to me. I went and looked for a home that I thought I could afford and bought it and lived in it. So I'm immediately now in real estate.
Gotcha, yeah.
I'm not this was in 07. So
This is like the low of lows, right?
well,
Or was that 08?
actually, yeah. So this
Yeah.
was not. This was
it
before,
was before.
the market
Okay.
hit. Now it was a foreclosure property, so it was a piece of crap, and
Yeah.
But so I got it low priced. But
That's where the money is, though. That's the opportunity.
I mean, I think when I bought it, I immediately made $10,000 in equity. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You buy it below market, it's worth 60 if you turn around and sell it, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm not a savvy investor. I don't know anything about building a wall or repairing a bathroom. I mean, I just bought a home and lived in it. Well, I was in real estate at that point.
Yeah.
And it took 5 years before I bought the next place. I think I always tell you that, like, if you can't make a move now, just make the move when you can, and it just happens at some point. I love the idea that you're thinking about passive income. I think that idea alone is pretty powerful. Where did that come from? Where are you?
Funnily enough, I think it was with Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
I think where that idea came from. There's a lot of small events that have, completely changed my mindset on, getting out of this quote unquote rat race. I think my friends have a lot to do with that.
Okay.
I had to change. I had to change a lot of my friends, the people who I hang around with. It's as cliche as it sounds, the people you spend, or what is it? You're like the average
Yeah.
of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Nice.
So,
you are. There's no doubt about it. And I'll tell you, I've never excluded people from my life, but naturally, I chose to be around those that I wanted to be like, I guess. And when I was in middle school and I was hanging out with some bangers, I mean, I got in trouble.
Yeah.
And I got kicked out. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what? Those guys were cool. I wanted to be cool.
There
you know
you
what I
go.
mean?
Yeah.
I did choose the wrong cool, I think. But I don't know. I can't analyze that enough to define what that was, but I wanted to be cool. I ran with these dudes to be cool, and that meant sagging my pants, or I got kicked out for calling a girl a B word in middle school.
Wow.
Like, where did that come from? It was just hanging out with these guys that did that regularly, and the whatever music I was listening to at the time. And quick story, so they moved me to Shackleford, my parents, for a year, but then I still hang out with my other friends, so I went back to Grand Prairie, but I shed those quote unquote bad friends, the guys that were up to no good and caused me to, and I started hanging out with the more, I'm going to say, I use the word preppy type, smart, good families.
Yeah.
And again, I'm the lower middle class family that, Dad was always a hard worker, but I'm trying to be like these guys. So now they're a little bit more studious. They're a little bit more successful. They're more about good things.
And I don't think, obviously I don't know the financial situation of the people I'm hanging out with, but I don't think they're anywhere close to being well off.
Yeah.
I think it's just more of the mindset that they have and the work ethic. I think of just three guys that immediately jump out to me, and one of them I'm really, really close with, and we have accountability for each other. We set some goals every week. We
Wow.
Actually, we started this week. We're waking up at 5, and we're calling each other, making sure that we're up. And today it was like I called him, and he was like, "Man, it's getting tough. I really."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, get up, man. It's we're almost done." So
That's the best part about doing it with a partner.
oh my gosh, yes,
Because I did a push-up contest for December, and I was going to do 2,000 push-ups in December.
wow.
And I was on pace and rocking and rolling. The reason I quit, I was recording them all. And I got to a point where like I'd be ready to do them, but I wasn't at home ready to do them, right? So I couldn't record them, so I wasn't going to do it. And then I started faltering and not doing it. So now I'm still doing my push-ups in the morning. I'm not going to do 2,000, but if I would have had somebody there challenging me along the way, I might still do it. And I'm over 1,000.
That's awesome.
The months,
what is that per day?
2,000 is like 70,
That's pretty good.
68, something like that. And so right now I'm doing 25 to 50. Depends on if I get that second set in. And man, I've always been able to do 20 push-ups. I've not gotten better. 20 to 25, I'm still turning red at 25. And I thought after a couple weeks of doing it, I'd get better. Do you do push-ups, or you do other different types of workout altogether? Because you're pretty regimented on your workout, right?
Yes, sir. My mom's a personal trainer.
Is she really?
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
She kind of got me into
Great
this
advice
fashion.
then.
Oh yeah. Do
you reach out to her and ask her about different?
Oh yeah, all the time. I don't like working out with her because she kicks my butt. Like
Wow.
She's working out from home obviously right now. But I'm more towards the weights and the weighted exercise right now. I do like body workouts or body weight workouts. Started those when it was we were going into the quarantine, so like April and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just not the same for me, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've maxed out but in a long time, but I've always lifted at some point. It obviously tallied off during quarantine. But I think I'm to a point now where push-ups, sit-ups, and I need to get a pull-up bar.
Yes.
So
pull-ups are amazing for, your entire back. Pretty much. So. Yeah,
and bodybuilding, then maybe you can do weights, right? But
I can see you as a bodybuilder. Cole.
No.
You can bulk up a little bit.
I do that in the mirror every morning.
There you go. Yeah.
I do my poses.
Self-confidence, right?
I got the dad bod though, so that's the thing too. You think about it, like I don't want to just take anything away from what you're doing, but like I live a very happy, healthy life. I eat what I want to eat and do what I want to do, but I also work out, right? Like so, I also offset that with lifting, but that still puts weight around your central core area. Right. And it's like, I wish there was a way to kind of offset that. And I'm sure there is. Eat healthier, target the areas. But, we were at Saltgrass last night, and appetizer, like bacon wrapped quail,
Very healthy. There you go.
range rattlers. Then I had a chicken Laredo with like feta cheese, feta cheese, caramelized onions.
Sounds good though.
Side of mashed potatoes. I mean, my plate is empty.
I like it.
and then cheesecake. Then they
go.
get this tall, big, thick cheesecake while I'm sucking down a Coke. I follow up with water, but that's got to be 3,000 calories minimum, right? Like it just rocked my world. But hey, man, I got up this morning and walked, did my push-ups, and when you start your day that way, your body's already getting in that ketosis where it's like starting to burn energy for the rest of the day. Do you do any type of, I say ketosis as like not keto specifically, but like, do you do any type of intermittent fasting, or you're working out enough to where you got to eat?
Yeah, I'm pretty.
I saw you did meal prep.
Yes, I did meal prep this week. The breakfast, I'm actually really enjoying the breakfast. The lunch is where I kind of slow down, just because the chicken, oh my gosh, it's so dry. It is so dry. I have to have like a half a gallon of water just to.
Tell me how to meal prep.
Well, I mean,
because you just did it for the first time, right?
Yeah, I did it for the first time. I looked up how to meal prep on YouTube, and that's how I got the inspiration. He showed me how to cook like chicken and broccoli, like that's pretty basic meal for lunch. I just kind of improvised on the breakfast.
Okay, so you're cooking the chicken, cooking the broccoli, putting it in like a to-go container.
Yeah.
And then put it in the fridge or whatever. So when it's time to eat, you don't have to think, oh, let me go do this, or let me make this, or let me just munch on this. Oh, let me go to Jack in the Box.
Yes, that's the key.
You got your meal ready to go.
Yeah, you don't have to go through the thought process of, do I have the time to make the meal, or can I just pick it up from like fast food restaurant or something?
Well, and that's
you already have the meal. Yeah.
Right. That's my biggest diet mistakes are like, I'm sitting there like, okay, I got to eat. I can't wait. I got to eat now, because if I wait any longer, all right, what can I eat right now? Or I'm sitting at home and I don't know what to do. I ordered Chipotle. Hey, Chipotle is not the worst.
It's not. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, especially the bowl. When you get bowls, I don't do sour cream. It's meat, rice, beans, corn, that mixed salsa. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So I kind of want to go back to you talking about for you, what are you, 19?
Yes, sir.
To have these thoughts of passive income and real estate investing and these goal setting with reliability partners. I mean, I feel like when I was 19, I was like waiting for the next party to happen, or like whether a girl liked me or not. Well, that may still happen or not, but like, I did have that influence from my old man, like a little bit, and I did play the rat race game, and that was very educational.
I need to play that. Yeah.
You make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Like thinking about it and think this direction, but when you play the game, you're given a situation, and you have to make a decision, and there's an outcome from that situation. So it kind of takes you through that process. I felt that was pretty powerful.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So I've kind of realized this, the game Monopoly, the basic game, when I was little, when I was super little, and my mindset now, they're exactly the same, because when I played Monopoly when I was little, I'd spend every dollar I had on properties. I would buy every single property, and everyone else would make fun of me, you don't have any money, you're going to go bankrupt. Pretty soon, pass go a couple times to get those houses going, and it's like, the turntables or something.
Yeah, the tables turn. Tell me your approach and what you think. Teach someone who may be listening what passive income is. We mentioned it. We talk about it.
Yeah.
But some people don't even know what that means.
Well, in a nutshell, passive income is, I mean, it's what it sounds like. You're making money while you're doing nothing, pretty
Yeah.
much. Whereas active income is, your 9 to 5 job where you're paid to spend your time and make money. For me, I mean, that's passive income could be a variety of ways.
Yeah.
You could put it into, you could invest it in stocks,
I was gonna say,
bonds and all that stuff. But
Can you summarize that with income from your financial investments?
Yeah.
And that whether that be your financial investment is in real estate or some stock that you bought that's paying you a dividend that goes into your bank account, right? So you wake up 8 o'clock, you work at 9, work till 5, you're gone. Your time is at that office. You get a paycheck.
Yep.
Okay. So what if you took that money that you earned and invested it in a home, and while you're at work, somebody's paying you rent,
Right.
and so that's kind of the idea of passive income. Yeah, I don't like the idea of saying you don't work for it because you got to research the home.
Of course, yes.
You have to do repairs, and if you're not doing the repairs yourself, you have to find a good contractor that you trust and know, and spend some time making sure. My brother has jumped into real estate in the past. I guess we started it about 5 years ago,
That's awesome.
and really ramped it up. He ramped it up on his own. He and I have started 5 years ago together, but on his own, he ramped it up this past year or so. He doesn't touch the house.
Wow.
He doesn't look at it. He doesn't look and say, we should repair this, we should repair that, or hey, I like this the way it looks. He doesn't
It's
even
just cash flow.
He talks to an agent like me or a property manager and says, here's my formula. Here's what I want. If you can make it fit within this formula, I'll pay you your commission. I'll pay you, and they're going to do repairs as well. So he's also helping that property manager do his job. He's investing in that property manager because that property manager is not the investor. He wants to manage property.
Yeah.
And this,
Giving him work, yeah.
yeah, this guy was like a former colleague of his that wanted to get into this field. And so he said, okay, here's my formula. If you find this, so this guy goes to work finding this house for X amount of dollars. Well, okay, we can't pay that much, but we can pay this much. Okay, then how much is it going to cost to repair it? So he gets the real estate commission, the property manager fee, and then as a contractor, you do work, you make money. So this guy's making money in 3 different ways, and my brother's investing in real estate. Pretty powerful
Yeah.
approach. I mean, I don't want to tell my brothers too much of my brother's information, but like he basically leveraged his own earning power to borrow money from a bank. So when you invest in real estate, you can get money from a bank at record low interest rates. I mean, we're talking 2.5% at times. Well, why would they give you money? Well, you got to prove that you can pay it back. So they have this debt to income ratio. If you make X amount of dollars and your debt's not more than so much, they'll give you the money, more or less. But he's got a good salary. So he has leeway to take loans out, right? So it does. Listen, he's taking advantage of the opportunity given to him, right? Like, at some point, the income from the properties will offset his own salary, and he'll be able to do that. So anyway, the idea is his goal is to match his salary.
Yeah.
Until
That's awesome.
he's not going to retire until he has enough passive income from his real estate investments to pay his current salary. So then you retire with the same salary, and you're sitting at your beach house, whatever, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And my brother's 41, by the way. So, will you wait 20 years to do that? I mean, it's a rhetorical question, right? Like, and I'm telling you, man, to you, I'm double your age, right? Like I'm an old man almost to you. But I'm in my prime, to be honest with you. And so you're already taking the steps to do it. But if you can wrap your mind around the patience it takes, and I mean, you're going to be far beyond what me and my brother have done. What's your kind of vision on that? What's your kind of goals on that? Like, because you're a goal guy, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, is your goal to get one property? Is your goal to save the money to get the? I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah. So I have, I'd say, two very clear goals right now. My overarching, like, big goal is to be financially free by the time I'm 30.
Okay.
That's the big picture. And when I mean financially free, it's like what you were talking about earlier. Your passive income is equal to or exceeds your monthly expenses. That's. Have you heard of the FIRE movement? Financially Independent, Retire Early movement.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of explains itself.
Yeah,
but
pretty much. But yeah, that's the main goal. That's what I'm shooting for every day. And right now, my goal is to get my first property by the time I'm 20. So I turn 20 next October.
Dang.
So
get on
I'm
it, boy.
I'm on the clock. And it's funny because you mentioned the debt to income ratio, and that's kind of my biggest problem right now. Because I have two options for financing. Though I mean, two broad options. One, I can get a loan. That's what I'm trying to do. And the other one is, private financing.
Yeah.
Or private lenders.
Private lendings.
No one's going to lend to me right now. I'm 19 and, I don't have any history. I don't,
Bank wise or private wise?
Both wise. Well, yeah, both wise.
Yeah.
But I was thinking private, like, thinking of like an investor who has $100,000. So.
Well, you need an investor who has $1 million that gives you $100,000.
Yes.
No one's going to give you their entire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're laughing, and it is funny, but I mean, think about that. Like, you're not looking for a guy who's saved a few dollars and is ready to invest. You're looking for a guy who's got $1 million or more that it's just sitting in the bank earning 0.5%. Well, he gives it to you, he can earn 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, a lot of guys do that at 10% all day long. I mean, think about it. If the house on the corner here was for sale, and they're saying owner finance, and they're going to charge you 10%, but whatever that is, it works within your budget. They're like, oh yeah, come on, bro. You'll pay if you're going to pay the 10% interest. They're going to give you that money.
Yeah,
because 10% is
a lot.
That's
a large return. Yeah,
it's harder on you, higher price, less equity, but you got started.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. First property by 20.
Yes, sir.
How are you going to do that?
Right now, I'm working on. My parents are. I hope they respect this, but I'm trying to go full time at my job, so I can save money, and establish that. I don't know. I don't want what it's called, the like the forms you have to submit for your official like employment history. I don't know.
Sure. How long you been at UPS now?
Since October. I don't know how long, you have to be until.
We got 90 days usually at least on a lot of deals. But my encouragement is school's important. I mean, I'll argue you don't have to go to school to a certain extent.
I would like to talk about that later, yeah.
But you're there. Roll with it. Like, when you take that element out, think about how much time and mental strength you gain, right? So this is grind time. This is hustle time. We talk about the word hustle. There's an old man that I know. He actually passed away about a week ago. Kenny Rowland, awesome dude, but nothing in particular about him except that. Let's say 10 years ago, I was at the bank and I saw him. Hey, Kenny, how's it going? Hey, where you are, man? Where he kind of talked like, hey, what are you doing, man? And I mean, this guy's top of the line, character wise.
Yeah.
And he says, "What you been up to, Cole?" And I said, "Hey, Cole." He said, "Oh, just hustling, man. Just hustling. What? You know, there was this image of hustling as like the hustler on the corner who's taking your money, or
Yeah, and like in a pool game or something.
sure, yeah. It was like a, like the same similar confusion, different but similar confusion when in my day I was a young kid. Today Was a Good Day by Ice Cube.
Oh yeah.
And it said, I saw the lights of the Goodyear blimp, and
And
it
it
said,
read,
Ice Cube's a pimp. And I remember as a kid, I thought pimp was bad, and it is it kind of is it is a bad thing. And so I'm like, why is he bragging about being a pimp, right? Is this word association thing that we don't get?
Yep.
So he thought hustling was bad. Well, now that use is a term
It's a good
for
thing.
I'm working hard.
Yeah.
I'm busting my tail. I'm trying to get this thing. So I bring all that up and talk about it to encourage you that, I mean, you just started your grind. Your generation, I think, is ready to be successful now.
Oh, for sure.
Define successful. You look at me and sometimes see success. I appreciate that, and it's very. I love that you ask me questions and are curious about what I do, and most people in my position would feel that way when you ask them questions. So without getting too far off topic, ask people questions, not just me, anybody that's in a position of quote unquote success. Anyway, I'm not there yet. I see that just in the past year that there's been an increase. I'm closer to that success.
Mm-hmm.
You see that as like, if I only had, I'm just putting words in your mouth, so don't forgive me. But if I had what he had, and I don't mean that in a sense that like you're going after what I'm going, but like the real estate aspect or the just simple success aspect. Well, I'm looking at a few other guys. Like and what were we talking about earlier?
Perspective thing, yeah.
What were we talking about earlier? Surrounding yourself
With people that you want to be like.
because you're constantly looking.
Gotta reach for more, yeah.
If it's me or somebody else, you're trying to reach that goal. What happens when you get there? Are you successful? No, I mean,
I think that's your decision.
it's a definitive term. Once you've okay, say you are successful, what are you going to do?
I think you gotta set more goals. I
Yeah,
think
man.
personally, like
It's a
you can't become complacent. I feel like.
yeah, and I think success is when your goal achievement or grind is something you love, right?
I agree.
You like working out. I know you
sir.
do, right?
Yeah.
You enjoy it. This isn't a task. I mean, I know it's tough, but you get enjoyment out of it. So lifting boxes for a living is like a workout,
It
right?
is. Oh my gosh, my shoulders are dead after
Yeah.
a couple hours.
So I'm not saying that killing your shoulders for 8 hours or whatever is like fun, but you kind of intermingle to work out and
Yeah.
and while you're during this grind, in a time of your life that I'm going to say physical conditioning is common to you. You've put that in within a job that earns you money.
And I do Uber Eats whenever I'm not working at UPS, and that ties back with real estate because I purposely go to like areas I'm not familiar with. I'll go to Louisville or any town, and I'll just start up the Uber app and deliver food, and I get a feel for just markets that I haven't even been exposed to.
Oh yeah, that's great, man. Because I'm totally locked in on Grand Prairie.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And
Yeah.
I'm familiar with it. I know everything that's going on. I'm you know what? I'll say it. I have a master control over a certain radius here in this area. And I say master control in the sense that I know every street, I know every corner, being involved with the city, I know utilities and streets and everything that kind of shows where the market is going, where it's going to be, if that street gets renewed, how it increases the value of that neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. But I've not spent a lot of time going to other markets. And if you're if you are able to create some formula of your investment, look, you're not there yet, and I don't. It's good to think about that and maybe create it, but I say that to encourage you to stick with the first goal, get a real home by your 20.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is, don't overpay, but maybe overpay. You see what I'm saying? Like, don't have this strict guideline that keeps you from investing, because if that doesn't allow you to invest at 19 and 9/10 when you're almost about to be 20 and you're like, I got to do this, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't fit my deal. One, you didn't achieve your goal, and two, you're not in real estate.
Yep.
And then that pushes off 2 more years before you find something. So that's 2 years of equity that you could have built to get that deal.
Yeah.
And maybe it's worth it if you find the deal where it's you something that you're saving $30,000-$40,000. I don't know. But the point is, invest. And let me reference back. I'm talking a lot here, but sometimes I feel like I'm a little teaching to you. I know you like to listen, and there's a lot here. So, me and my brother. So I told you my brother in the past year just ramped it up major time. Well, he and I here in Grand Prairie. We were reviewing these homes in 2015 at a price where we're like, well, it's probably a little high. It's hard to say. We're kind of figuring we bought 2 properties about 6 months apart. And it's kind of one of these deals like, okay, it barely fits this formula that we created. It's like, let's get in real estate. That's the answer. Let's just do it. We'll figure it out. We got to do this and see how it works. And both of those properties have basically doubled in value.
It's insane.
So it's harder now, because we're not going to double in value today.
So
we're not going to double in value in 5 years. But in 2015, we thought the prices were a little high.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close to what it ended up being.
So was that all natural appreciation, or did y'all put sweat equity
Oh,
into
definitely natural appreciation.
Wow.
And I say almost doubled. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at the price we paid to what, if I just put it on the market right now and sold it, yeah, you're probably...
That's insane.
I say doubled, if not like 80%, right? 80 to 100% increase in value. And so... Okay, so if that's 50, so yeah, definitely 80%. I'll guarantee it was 80%. See, 5 years, 80% increase in value. There's not a financial advisor that'll give you that.
Yeah, there's not a stock that'll get you an 80% return, I can tell you that.
No. So my point is, get into real estate. I mean, when you're able to, don't let... Now, on deal 7... When you're looking at it and it's not matching your numbers, yeah, maybe hold off. But if you're wanting to get into it, make that move. And I told you, I lived in mine for...
Yes,
I've lived in almost every property I've invested in.
That's what my strategy was going to be. It's called house hacking. I don't know if you've heard of the strategy. It's just you live in you get a FHA loan, low down payment, low interest rate, and you rent out the other rooms in the property if it's a single family, or if it's a duplex, triplex, you rent out the other units.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is I listened to a couple other podcasts regarding real estate for beginners, and they always say that the first deal, you just need to learn. You need to get in to learn, not to cash flow. And I think that's the main thing I need to, I'm trying to have that mindset, but, it's hard because...
Yeah, man, there's no doubt about it, because have you taken any real estate classes?
Not yet. I'm switching over to my major.
Yeah.
But
I was in
semester,
I think it was 3rd or 4th year before I took any real estate classes, and I assumed you didn't. And those helped. Those helped me look at the numbers. That's one of the things I did, look at mortgages and amortization schedules and all that stuff to kind of get your mind wrap around it. But I learned by... I attribute it to rat race.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. But then the major lesson was doing it.
Yes.
So the other thing we're going to do today when we're done is I'm going to take you by my house I'm living in. There's a 480 square foot workshop in the back, and I've been there a year, and I've slowly demoed it, pulling all the junk out. I've made 10 plus trips to the dump, but the foundation guys are there right now because the foundation were just like sunk in to one side. Well, I've got Olshan, the best foundation company out there, most reputable, and we're going to get a square, even foundation. Well, guess what? That's 480 square feet.
Are you gonna rent that
Oh,
out
yeah.
for storage or?
No. And that's actually, we're talking about real estate and stuff. There's people, like that would be a good example. Is like I've got this 10 by 10 section. It's $100 a month.
Yep.
I can put your stuff there and secure it, and you pay me $100 a month. And I don't know the numbers to space ratio, but
Yeah.
I'm saying, so if I got 480 square foot, and I've got divide that amongst space, and sometimes it's just a little box maybe, or
Oh, there's
whatever
so
people
many
want to
ways.
store.
Yeah.
You could put cabinetry in there with locks.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, I'm going to rent it. I'm going to make it a living.
That's
residence.
awesome.
Okay.
So like a mother-in-law suite kind of?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for now, and the reason I'm telling you this is like when I bought my house in 2007, I didn't know how to build anything. I'm going to do all of this by myself.
Wow.
Okay, foundation
You need
is
some help on
it's
that.
engineering. You're digging holes 6 feet plus in the ground. You're jackhammering cement. I mean, it's best to let the professionals.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to mess up a foundation.
You talk to one of the most experienced contractor, he doesn't do foundation work. So that's okay to get somebody else to do the foundation. The second is the rough plumbing. So a toilet is not rough plumbing, but all the plumbing that goes to the toilet.
Okay.
The sink is not plumbing. However, the
pipes
I call that
and-
rough plumbing. All the pipes
Yeah.
that come up to the surface, and then you attach to it and do your thing. So that's going in the ground, digging, and again, we're talking about digging
Yep.
to the main pipe. So I am going to have a professional do that. So that's top of the line, ready to go. So at that point, I'm going to do the rest. And it may take me 6 months. It may take me even longer. But I can do it. I know how to do it, and I've done it bits and pieces. This will be the first time from square
It's just
one.
all you, right?
Yeah. It's I'm thinking, so this is stuff you're interested in. So I bought this house, market value, if not, I might have got it a little bit cheaper. I think today I definitely got it cheaper. A year ago, because the market's increased in a year,
Yep.
it was probably at market value, if not, and it's got foundation problems. They're all manageable. They're not crazy. It's pier and beam. Okay. This workshop in the back was full of junk, messed up foundation. Joe Blow would look at it and say, I said, Joe, you're Joe. That's awesome. That's the common, I just say Joe Blow all the time. Would look at that and be like, they don't want to mess with that. And I'm, with respect to all women, you give life, but a woman in a home would look at that and like, I'm not
Yeah.
touching it.
You don't want
Right?
to deal with it. Yeah.
But I saw it as 480 square foot. I saw it as space, and I'm a year into it, and it's still not even close to being ready. But I'm going to put about, honestly, Joey, it's going to take some time and putting my money in the right places, but about 25 to 30K into that. But minimum $600 a month, I'm going to rent it for.
Boom.
I
And
can
that's-
get 800 to 1,000.
That's just that suite,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's all. So think about it in different ways. Like, if I wasn't there, the home and the suite. So take away the suite, the home, the rental market is. That's a smaller house, so $1,100, $1,200.
Yeah.
Okay. But add that suite, brand new and in good condition, you add the 600.
Yeah.
So you're
18,
so
almost 19.
yeah. But me being there, that's my home. Add $600 a month. I mean, there's just different ways to look at it. Like, if I don't know the person and it's official business deal, $800 to $1,000. I'd rather rent somebody I know for $600. They got a nice deal.
Yeah.
I know them and trust them. They're on my property type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, so sorry, I'm explaining all that. Let's just say $600 a month. That's $7,200 in a year, and then in 3 years, that's $21,000, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so I made my investment back, and everything else is money in your pocket because. So when you look at a home, expenses, insurance, and taxes are always going to be there. You also have your mortgage, but insurance and taxes are going to be there. Well, I'm already paying that. So that $700 or $600 is going directly. It's not $600 minus $200 for expenses. It's going directly to, my income, however you want to.
It's just cash flow. Yeah.
Cash flow.
Well, I mean, I don't know how high rent appreciation is here, but would that play a part in that as well?
Why don't you ask that question again? High rent appreciation.
High rent appreciation,
To appreciation. I don't know what you're asking me.
Oh, well, I know certain markets, the rents per month increases, with time. I don't know how high that percentage is in Grand Prairie.
Yeah, not. So too much to, in my opinion, that's way more than you need to be thinking about. And the reason I say that is you want to work on today's market. You can try to guess on future markets, but it's a lot more of a risk.
Yes.
Rents are crazy high right now. So they could keep increasing, but they're not going to be increasing too much more.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense, right?
Well,
so what I'm saying, so like in an apartment complex, they get you in there $1,000 a month. Every year they give a 5% increase in rent. It's just smart business. And then 4 or 5 years, I think they assume you're moving in 4 or 5 years anyway. So while they got you, why don't they get some more rent out of you?
Yep.
And then so you've increased, and then they get the new guy in there and do the same thing, $1,000 a month and increase every 5 years, whatever it is. So rent increases are natural in large managed apartment complexes that have market research, managers in and out that know exactly what they're doing and been in the business for years. That's why I try to explain to you. I'm a knucklehead, dude. I'm not a advanced manager that does market research and I look at the money. Does it work? Okay, let's do it. Does it not? I'm not going to do it. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So you can get into the market research and be far more abrased to what's going on with this. But don't forget that you can do it now as just a knucklehead that works out all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like painting the picture of we're just normal dudes. And that's why I say knucklehead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're not some advanced. You don't have to have some real estate Donald Trump degree.
Yeah.
Which that was kind of funny because that was the thing he got in trouble for. But you don't have to have this real advanced real estate stuff like that. You have to look at the money. Look at your money. Does it work? Yes. Roll with it.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I know that the I don't know the actual term for it, but the tenants, due to COVID and a lot of people losing their jobs, they were able to defer the rent.
Yeah.
How's that? Has that affected you anyways? No.
I've been lucky, I guess, because my tenants have paid on time every time.
Wow.
Now,
I know some people have gotten hit hard with that. And
yeah,
I mean,
so it's interesting. So if I've been smart about it. The home I bought in 07, my first one, I owe $15,000 on it, right? So I'm not going to lose it. It's $384 a month mortgage. So it's nothing.
Wow.
It's nothing. Now, add taxes and insurance in that, I'm up to $800 or $900 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then my house my other house that's more recent, It's $1,450. That's mortgage and insurance. So if that guy moves out, I mean, or quits paying me rent, it's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine
And
finding
I
a
can't
tenant.
kick him out because they also deferred evictions.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one thing that people need to. That's one thing that's scary about what happened in COVID, because once the vaccinations are out and there's no longer an excuse to not work or get back to business.
You're going to have like 7 months of rent stacked up on top of each other.
Yeah. And my thought is, no, I mean, there's a demand for people that are working, that are living with their brother and living with their parents or whatever, that they'll kick them out and get somebody in there that can pay rent. Oh, it's such an interesting time, man, because people are moving into Texas like no other. I mean, they're just pouring in here. And so if you kick that person out, man, look, I hate the idea of kicking somebody out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's not what we're doing here. But unfortunately, I'm in that role of landlord at times. And I'm not I told you, we're bringing turkeys today to my tenants. I mean, I take care of folks, and if they're late, I waive fees. I'm like, I'm not, but rent is rent, and
You need it. Yeah, you need it to pay.
I have an obligation to pay, just like you have an obligation to pay. You pay me, I pay the bank. That's the way it works. Yeah, I make a little bit extra, but that's the business I'm in, and that's why we do it. Yeah, so if somebody wasn't paying me rent and it was backing up right now, I really don't know. I'd have to explore the options. I think the relief bills have money built in. If you apply and show a loss, they'll make you whole. I don't think you can get the high rent or whatever, but if you show, hey, because he hadn't paid me, I haven't paid my bank note. I think they'll cover the bank note. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I want to clarify. I said I think.
Yeah.
I'm not positive that that's a thing. How does you ready for this?
I don't know.
How does your Christianity play into your desire for success, your role as a real estate guy, wanting to do real estate? I've assumed you're a Christian guy.
Yes.
And I think that's a powerful thing. It's humility, I think, is humbleness, I think, is something that comes with that, or whatever walk you choose to be on. It comes with some of that. Have you brought those two kind of, because it's something that's pretty powerful.
For sure. Yeah, and I really haven't thought about it too much.
Yeah.
I don't want to say kept them separate, but I mean, I haven't really tried to, combine my beliefs with, this passion I have.
Yeah.
I mean, the most obvious thing is when I retire, when I'm 30. I'm saying when. I'm trying to speak that into existence right now. When I retire, when I'm 30, I have this time to, serve others and, give back to the community and stuff. But right now, I haven't really thought about that.
Yeah.
I like that you brought that up.
Well, it's important to, because we're basically talking about finances.
Yeah.
And Joey, Christian or not, money is the root of all evil, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And so I talked a lot. I appreciate you listening, but the goal to have money is borderline, man. I mean,
I can see that. Yeah.
It's not something. We define success in America with money. It's a capitalistic society, and that's, in my opinion, one of the best, right? That's how you value your time. Jesus may preach a little bit different, but it's a similar path. I mean, your time is worth something, and so somebody's paying you for your time, and that might be more for others, less for others. But I guess I'm kind of bringing all that up to remember about tithing. it's not yours. You know what I mean? We always think it. Okay, we're talking about it. I've tithed now consistently for only a few years.
Gotcha.
You know, I'd always give $20 or
Yeah.
the plate came along, I'd throw some money in there that I had in my pocket or something like that, which is great. You know, I think that is just as good as what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
When I say not now, it's 10%.
Gotcha.
Of what I earn, right? Mm-hmm. And so I never had enough to give 10%.
Yes.
It's a stupid. That statement doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah. I mean,
10%'s nothing,
If
right?
you're earning $1, I mean, 10%, you just give a dime. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, once I started doing it, now it's like I need to give more. Like I feel like I'm
Really?
not giving, you know what I mean? Like I'm happy with my 10%. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm doing my part, but what is your part? And 10% is just a suggestion, and so I think the giving up of your money, the act
Yes.
is what's important. Does that make sense? Like we want money, we're pulling it in more.
Yeah, I
more.
think-
Retire at 30. Even when you're retired at 30, you're in your prime, and you're going to be wanting to make more money because you're good at it at that point, and so you're always going to want more and more and more. So the act of giving it up, saying, "Here, this is for you."
Yeah.
You get nothing out of it. This is not your church. This is not your facility. This is not your preacher. I mean, I guess it's the preacher that you prescribe to, but giving it away. And
Yeah.
I mean, some people live their whole lives and get this old man, Cam Gray, crazy liberal, but he lived this way. He gave away, he emptied his bank account every year.
Wow.
He made really good money, and he was in business for himself, so sometimes it was more, sometimes it was less. Every year he emptied his account, gave it away. You know what I mean? So
That's insane.
I'm not going to do that. I
yeah.
have no plans to do that. But the act of giving up what we're striving so hard to get and just giving it away. So as I'm telling you and encouraging you and trying to help you to keep on this real estate deal and save your money and do this,
You gotta remember.
don't
what's
important. It's not yours, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just simply not. I mean, you can live a happy, healthy life with very little money. And it's finding those important things. Ecclesiastes in the book. What? Like, it sounds like such a. We've heard of the Matthew, Mark, Luke's, and John's, and the Corinthians,
big
and
ones,
like
yeah,
the New
big boys.
Testament. You know, but Ecclesiastes is an amazing book about
I haven't read it. I need
what
that.
about knowledge and wealth. So Solomon, King Solomon, was known as the wisest man to ever live. Because God spoke to them directly back in the Old Testament, apparently. That's what it talks about. So God told Solomon, what do you want? You're going to be king. We'll give you anything you want. And he says, I want wisdom.
Wow.
And because he asked for wisdom and not power or gold or money, whatever, he gave him all that as well. Okay? So most successful, wisest man to ever live, Ecclesiastes is him as an old man reflecting on his life.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You heard the birds, a time to die, a time to die.
I haven't heard of that. No.
No, so it's a popular song in, let's say, the 60s,
Okay.
straight out Ecclesiastes.
Really?
Yeah. So the whole book, the first couple chapters mentions like 5 times about doing what you love. You'll never work a day in your life. If that make the whole, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Biblical. So I'm not. I am preaching to you. I mean, like there's an application there that comes with that. He promises us that we will have all the desires of our heart, but it's him giving it to us. So the money that you have, the sacrificing of the 10%,
I mean, it's
That's
his.
just a standard.
Yeah.
You don't have to. 10%'s just a suggestion. Remember that. You don't.
Not
It's just.
set in stone or
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You got anything else?
I'm just really glad you brought that up. I haven't.
Applied that.
I
Well,
have
man-
not applied that consistently.
Yeah, well, man, it's been that's how I got to know you is through church,
Yeah.
and so it's been an honor, watching you kind of evolve a little bit, and I think all the way up until about 30, you're constantly changing and growing as a person, and the goal is to continue to do that far beyond 30.
Yep.
But that's been one of my joys and excitement is working with the kids at that church is
Yeah.
to watch them grow. When you guys graduated this year, we've got all junior high kids.
Yeah, I know.
So we went
There's,
from like these seniors that I could like rib and get along with and like just give a hard time. They were basically adults to like junior high kids.
Yeah.
So I'm
You're starting those relationships over again.
oh man, I'm adjusting to this like kind of like new approach to working with these kids. So, Joey, we've been here an hour now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It was right about 9, I think. So
Yeah.
I wish you well, man. You always got some. You ever need help, ideas, whatever? Reach out. If you ever want to do more of this,
For
I,
sure.
I talked your ear off today.
Yeah. That's all good.
But I see benefit in that, and I think you're seeking some of that, and then and if it's just running things through your head that you want to get on tape type deal,
Yeah.
and I know you do your. I love your Instagram. What's your Instagram for?
It's joey.health.
Joey
Just
Health.
Post whatever I really feel like, inspirational stuff, fitness, little spiritual stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, man. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right. See you, Cole.
See you, bud.